Adam Driver not coming back to Star Wars. Oh, man, that's kind of a bummer, dude. To be honest with you, like, it's a bummer. I also understand it. I mean, how could you not? Just looking at what Lucasfilm and Star Wars is doing, Adam Driver says not coming back to the Star Wars franchise. So let's take a look at what he actually said here. This is over on MB Max Blitz. I don't know what that is. Weird. But regardless, here's what it says here. Adam Driver, who portrayed Kylo Ren in the Star Wars sequels, revealed he is not returning to the franchise. In a Smartless podcast, Driver confirms he won't play Kylo Ren again, stating his character story is done. He said, "They're doing stuff, but not with me. I'm not doing any more." Okay, so yeah, again, kind of a bummer. I'm of the mind that having Kylo Ren or Ben Solo in this Rey movie in some way could definitely help, might actually be the only thing that interests me. And so it's a kind of a bummer, again, to hear that Adam Driver is not gonna return. Now, it is possible that he is lying. That is absolutely possible. Perhaps it's some big twist, some big thing going on. Maybe he's pulling in Andrew Garfield. He's the werewolf, and he's denying it. That could be. I wonder what you guys think about that, chat. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't return. I believe in this podcast, he also slightly takes a lot of shots at Disney and the Star Wars thing. And he said, for instance, it was the first job he had ever taken that he didn't read the scripts for, which is interesting. But again, they didn't even have scripts back then. I think they were working on some stuff with Michael Arndt. He wanted to take years and fully develop the story, and Disney said, we don't need a good story, we need it in 2015. You know what I mean? And the rest is history. But nonetheless, kind of a bummer that we are not going to get Adam Driver. I wonder, chat, do you think that he's lying, or do you think that he's being honest? Let me know what you think about that. There are long-standing rumors, a lot of them brought to you by me, about Disney's plans with Adam Driver. I had heard years ago that Disney was getting like some spec scripts done to just get different ideas, to basically farm different ideas for how they could bring Adam Driver back. Okay, a lot of speculation out there in the fandom that is still going on. So maybe that is still going on. And again, they're just hiding it. They want it to be this big reveal. But I also find it kind of weird, right? Like they just bring Daisy back. They literally bring her out on the stage at Celebration. And they don't even have a script. They had just go home Roger Lindelof and were remaking it just because they got Daisy back. So it's like, it's weird, right? Like if that's the mentality and they're just like dangle the actor key in front of the fandom, perhaps they should just do that with Adam Driver. I gotta tell you, for me personally, I think the movie would get a lot more attention and be more successful if they just brought Adam Driver back and they just told us. Don't be mysterious about it. Just tell us he's coming back. You don't have to tell us how. That could be the driving interest of the film. That could be the driving interest of the movie. It's like, how is Ben Solo coming back, you know? So it's kind of interesting looking at the chat. A lot of you guys think he's lying. Some of you guys think he's being honest here. Wow, that's pretty wild, right? We've kind of gotten into this place where with so many different actors lying about this sort of stuff that yeah, it seems like not a lot of faith left in how these actors actually go about saying these sort of things. It is interesting that he's addressing it like this. They are doing stuff. Like he said, Lucasfilm is doing stuff, according to him, not doing it with him, which is quite interesting. Chat, what do you guys agree, by the way, that getting Driver back would actually help the movie quite a bit? Just yes or no, like let me know in the chat. It's obvious, right, that bringing Adam Driver back would be very good for the movie. Like I don't know if anybody would deny that, right? Yeah, I think that is personally obvious. You know, another thing kind of connected to this story that I guess we could get into is the Rey conversation. You know, the conversation about Rey that, you know, is it continuing? Yes. Is it going to continue all the way up to the movie? Yes. Is it going to be toxic? Yes. And to me, this is part of the reason why I can't believe Lucasfilm is making this movie. Okay. So they seem to have the wherewithal and the understanding that they don't want to make another Rian Johnson movie, right? They've kind of been keeping him at arm's length, not really doing much with him. And I think the logic there is like, this is the guy that made the most divisive Star Wars movie of all time, this huge turning point. storyline, a lot of drama associated with him. And so like the mentality is, if we make the Rian Johnson stuff, the conversation isn't going to be about, oh, I wonder what he's going to do, or this is so exciting for Star Wars, or all that. The conversation is going to be, they're doing The Last Jedi again. I hate the guy that made that. It's going to be super toxic and horrible, right? It's like the same thing. I don't understand why they're making the Rey movie. And we've hit that point again within the timeline, right? A lot of this is cyclical. The Star Wars fandom is an Ouroboros, a snake eating its own tail. Both sides of the fandom are absolutely horrible. Everybody's confused, toxic, and terrible. It's just what it is. But we've reached that part of the cycle again where everybody's trying to act like the people that don't like Rey are a minority of like toxic people. I don't know if you've seen this. I've witnessed it on social media over the past couple of days. I was even watching the Hot Mic podcast with Rocha and Snyder last night, and Rocha like went off on some guy that was saying like, yo, make that Rey movie go into oblivion, and like Rocha's just like all triggered and like, you know, all these like talking points, and he's like arguing about how Rey is like a good character, or rather the people that don't like Rey are toxic or whatever. I kind of chimed in myself and was like, nah dude, fuck that movie, like send that shit to oblivion. And so we've reached this point where once again here we are. I don't think anybody denies that the conversations around this movie and about Rey are going to be incredibly toxic for the next how many ever years until they make the film. That's pretty undeniable, right, chat? It's going to be toxic. But I think what like drives me nuts is this fighting and this debate about Rey. I think just objectively looking out at the Star Wars fandom and just looking at the performance of the sequel trilogy, Rey was a divisive character. I would argue Rey is not a good character. I would make that argument. That's not a good character. Didn't go through real struggle, wasn't properly developed, was treated with kid gloves. Horrible. Okay? Bad character. You can like Rey. That's totally fine. But the conversation always turns into like, man, that's a loud minority, or you're the minority of fans. Like everybody's trying to gaslight each other into not just saying what is so obviously the truth. There are people that like Rey. There are people that don't like Rey. That's a divisive character. No matter what movie you make, if you make another movie about a divisive character, it's gonna bring with it horrible conversations. And it's like, I don't even hate Rey like that. Like, I just think she's not a great character, right? But this idea that everybody that hates Rey is like sexist or toxic or whatever, that's just as toxic. So it's like when people get that triggered, like I'm watching Rocha like lose his fucking mind because this guy's like, yeah, no, Rey should go to oblivion. And Rocha's like, she was 26-year-old, only acted in this thing about that. Brother, it don't fucking matter, homie. It don't fucking matter. People don't like Rey. Take a goddamn step back. People don't like Rey. Like, a lot of motherfuckers don't like Rey. So, to me, the people that are really to blame here, it's Lucasfilm. It's Lucasfilm. Because Lucasfilm, I mean, like, I just don't get, like, Lucasfilm walks into the room and people are, like, raging. It's like that scene in Community where Donald Glover walks in and everything's on fire and he's holding the pizzas. Like, that's what it is. And then Lucasfilm's like, I think a couple of more years of this would be great. Let's bring Daisy Ridley back. Like, it feels like some kind of sick fucking joke. I'm not, like I said, I don't even hate Rey. I hate the conversations around Rey more than I hate the Rey character. And it's like, literally Lucasfilm's like, sign us up for 3 more years of that. We'll deflect and call all the people that don't like it sexist, horrible, toxic, troll, incel people. And we'll just keep it moving. Am I crazy, or is that what's going on? And it's like, everybody's like, oh man, Star Wars fans, so toxic. Oh, Star Wars fans, so horrible. Star Wars, you know, this, that, second, and third. Maybe Disney just took a beloved franchise, disappointed fans for years and years, created characters that are bad, acted like it wasn't their fault, and the fan base is just divided. Like, how is that not obviously what happened? You know, I don't know, man. It's Star Wars has this thing, and then there are people out there that are like so toxically positive, right? These toxic positivity people, they're horrible. Like, they're horrible. The toxic negative people, they're horrible too. You know, nobody can fucking get along. That's just what it is. So why not just like avoid all of that? Like, how is it not obviously the move to just go into the future, create something new with less baggage, and create something that more fans would appreciate and get down with? I I still to this day cannot quite understand the logic of making the Rey movie. Don't understand it. And if you think I'm toxic for thinking that, holy shit, you're soft as Sherman. You're just soft. You're a soft person. That's okay. I don't hate you, but it is what it is. You're soft as fuck, dude. Like, you can't even just admit that, yeah, shit's just divisive. Like, it's just divisive. And by doing it, by making the movie, it's a dumb move. Not because all those people are right, but because all those people aren't going anywhere. And they're still gonna dig their heels in and bitch and moan about Rey for the next couple of years. Like, are you having a good fucking time? Here we go. By the way, it's not 2024 yet, so we're not ruining, you know, the thing. But I would even ask these people, right? These toxic positive fans. I'll be like, you having a good time talking about Rey on the internet right now? Are you having a good time? Like, are you enjoying yourself? Is this the party that you wanted to go to? That party was thrown by Lucasfilm. We didn't need this party. We could have thrown a different party under a different tent with new characters. That's what it could have been. You know, to take it back to Adam Driver, right? And to just, you know, bring it home, bring the point home. Unbelievable to me that they wouldn't recognize that Ben Solo Kylo, best part of the sequel trilogy, and that they needed him back. So if they're really gonna do a Rey movie without Kylo at all, maybe without John Boyega, because it seems like John Boyega's all the way burnt, all the way out. Wow, we're in for an incredible couple of years. And I just, look, you know, gonna like I said, gonna try to be less combative about it. I'm just gonna try to, like, tell this side, like, you know, I understand where you're coming from and you suck, and this side, hey, I understand where you're coming from, you suck just as much, you two deserve each other, please shut the fuck up. And by the way, all those motherfuckers are gonna go into the theater. They're all gonna go see this movie. Or maybe they won't. Or maybe they won't. What does Star Wars do if they release this movie and it does, like, Miss Marvel numbers? Like, what do you think Star Wars does at that point? Like, what do you think the plan is at that point for Star Wars? I don't really know.